Everyone, and welcome back. We are in Toronto, and thankfully it is really warm today, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to film because we've had a really terrible winter. But I have exciting news. This video is sponsored by Skillshare, and if you're not familiar with Skillshare, well, this is your opportunity to be. They're an incredible online learning platform that allows you to take different tutorials and lessons from creators like myself that have uploaded content onto their platform, and they vary from photography to film to graphic design. Whatever you're really interested in terms of art, it's most likely going to be on their platform. So I highly think that you guys should check it out. They've also been very generous enough to give 500 of my subscribers the opportunity to try their platform for 2 months for free. All you have to do is check the link in the bio, click on it, sign up, and you get 2 free months. Like I said, it's only limited to 500 people, so it's first come, first serve. And these videos that are on their platform, they're created by creators. It's a very different platform. These are like people like me, or people like other artists that I know that upload their content and share their skill sets with you guys. So I was going through their platform not too long ago, and I was trying to figure out a good video topic for you guys to learn from, and I came across Trash Hand's body of work. Trash Hand, if you're not familiar with him, he's a photographer based in Chicago, and I've met him on various occasions here in Toronto and in New York. And this guy has really killed the urban photography scene. He has mastered the art of capturing the essence of a city, capturing the life of it, and the character and charm. And he put together these tutorials, all these different tutorial options. You just gotta click on it, he plays the video, and you can learn exactly what he does in order to capture the essence of a city. And touching on that and further exploring it, I want to talk to you guys about how I would approach photographing my own city, Toronto. There's a few things that I take into consideration that make this process a lot simpler. So we're not going to waste any more time. Let's hit the road and snap a little bit. Yo, we got one crispy custard bun and 2 pork buns. Feels like Hong Kong. I feel like I'm back in Hong Kong right now. Can't wait to eat this. Okay, which one should I go for first? I think savory and then sweet, right? Okay, let's do that. Let's try that. Yeah. Oh my god. That is delicious. Alright, so whenever I'm thinking about going out and shooting, especially when I'm in Toronto, there's a couple things that go through my mind before I just decide to take whatever's in front of me and head out. I really plan out the type of shoot I'm gonna do. I think about the weather conditions, I think about the type of gear I'm bringing with me. And speaking of gear, I have the 35mm with me. It's a prime lens, and I have the 1DX body. Now, if I want to go and shoot the city, I don't want to be carrying around heavy equipment. I don't want to be carrying around too much stuff. So I travel lightweight, no knapsack, nothing, just the camera and the lens, that's it. 35mm, I did a video on this a while back. I talked about how, perfect timing actually. I like this. That gives me a moment to sip my coffee. Alright, so now that the church bells are done, what I was trying to say is that I did a video on a 35mm, and I talked about how it was one of my favorite lenses to work with, and I completely agree with it still. I think this is probably the most compatible lens in terms of shooting people, shooting landscapes, cityscapes. It's a very good, solid built lens that allows you to diversify the type of content that you capture. And so whenever I'm going to go and whenever I'm going to go out and shoot photos in Toronto or any major city, this is the lens I usually bring with me, especially when I'm doing photography. We're not talking about video right now, we're just talking about strictly photography. 35mm is the right choice. It's a f1.4, so you get that really nice aperture when you're capturing portraits of people, and it's also wide enough that you're getting really nice scenic shots. So once you've established that and you figured out the camera and the camera lens that you're going to bring with you, you move on and you start to wonder about the weather, and that's a big factor in photographing the city, and especially trying to bring out the character and the charm of your city. So for me, I don't photograph during, blue skies or during the day when it's, bright outside and there's a lot of sunlight and whatnot. I try to go out during overcast or forecasted days. Like today, it rained in the morning, so there's a little bit of moisture in the atmosphere. Everything seems a little bit more textured. The sharpness and clarity, the particles have settled. You're getting a lot more detail, and you're also in a different mood state. You're a little bit more cozy, you have your coffee, you're just roaming around, you can listen to your favorite music, and in doing that you start to get a certain rhythm and feeling for the city. And rhythm is the third thing I try to focus on. It's that pace. When you're going out and you're shooting, you start to think about what is that motion that you're trying to capture. So for me today, it's been very relaxed. It's more like captured subtle details. As an example, we were up by Yonge and Bay, and I captured the detail shots of the tree branches, and then behind them was this building, and it was just I think the contrast that really got me excited, and I photographed it, and that's something that I'm really into right now. I'm just trying to find textures, simple little moments, capture those, and that's what to me gonna fulfill this whole idea of capturing the essence of my city. After you have established all that and you're photographing, the post-production process comes in, and this is very important. You have to remember and try to provoke that feeling you had while you're experiencing those things in your photos when you're editing them. And typically, because of the environments I'm shooting in, it's always very moody, it's always very rough. I try to, bring that back. I try to establish that feeling again in my photos. So that's what I do, and that's what I think about when I first go out. And then after this, I'll teach you guys about tip number 2. Okay, so tip number 2 is very important. I say it's called the full head rotational scan, because when you're a photographer and you're out exploring places, a lot of us have this tendency to just shoot straight ahead or most likely down below. But as a photographer, you have to be exploring, you have to be observant of your surroundings. So one thing I try to do is I really try to look around and see what's available in my space. Right now we're in a very dense area of Toronto with a lot of tall buildings. So I'm going to be looking up. I'm going to see whether or not I can get a concentration of buildings together, get some lookup shots. You're going to also potentially even get on like a nice rooftop if you have access to it and do a nice look down shot. You want to change your angle and your perception of buildings and their shapes. So architecturally, yes, we're told to look straight at a building, but if you get to a certain edge or a corner of it, you start to play with it angularly, and you start to almost feel like it's an inception situation where it's like bending turns and curves that really work well to project the shape and the grandness of a building. So these are things I really take into consideration. Rotate your head, walk around, explore the space around you, be as observant as you can, and try to find different or abstract angles to a building that you typically wouldn't be able to if you were just looking straight and walking forward. So I'm going to go up one of these rooftops quickly and just get some photos. Mari's going to stay down here because it's not very safe for the both of us to do it. But I'll show you guys examples of photos that would work looking down, and I'll show you examples of photos that work shooting up. Be right back. Peace. Alright guys, so tip number 3, I'm a little nervous right now, but tip number 3 is really getting comfortable with the people in the city and having the courage to go up to someone and like asking them to take a picture. And that might be difficult, but if you do it nicely, you might be able to get away with it. There's a girl behind us that's, I think, waiting for an Uber, and I really want to ask her for a photo, so yeah, let's just try. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Sorry about the camera.
It's okay.
Is it alright if I take a couple pictures?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
What are you guys filming?
He's, what are you doing? What are we filming? I don't even know. I don't even know what to tell her. No, we're filming a YouTube video.
Oh, cool. What's your name?
Yeah, Alen.
Dana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. And that's Mary behind the camera.
Hi.
It's gonna be a little. It's gonna sound a little crazy, but I want to get some like portrait shots of you on the street.
Okay. Yeah, of course. That's
Are you
cool.
sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, this girl's so down.
Nice.
All right, awesome. Let's get on the street then.
Yeah, let's go.
I think I was getting her number. Good job.
Sometimes you actually might not get too lucky with, going up to someone and asking them to take their photo, and that's okay. That's all part of the process. Not everyone's gonna be like, yeah, I want my photo taken, or try to help you with your shoot. I got lucky with that girl. She happens to be some sort of art major, and she was really interested in what we were doing. I noticed she kept looking at us earlier on, so I was like, hey, it doesn't hurt to ask her. But I've been rejected so many times by people, and and it makes them feel uncomfortable, and that's okay. You just have to be very nice, and if they say no, you move on and you find someone that could help you out. And it's actually really nice because what ends up happening is, say you want a picture of yourself, you have an opportunity there, because if the person already said yes and is comfortable with you taking their photo, you can hand your camera over to them, and you know that it's going to be in good hands, and they can take a picture of you, and you might make a friend out of it, which is always rewarding. Now, my fourth point, this is a little bit different because I'm not going to really dive too deep into it, but I think it's valuable for you to know. When I go on a shoot, if it's a day that I'm shooting and creating content, I'll go from morning until nighttime, and I try to plan it out while I do different, run different errands, see different friends. So I might go out for dinner and then shoot in the evening. That being said, there's also an opportunity for you to create content at different times of the day, especially during the evening, like getting panning shots, long exposures, and really playing around with lighting. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to dive too deep into that because I don't have that much time, but that is something that you should definitely look into, and you can get really interesting shots with it. I've shot different long exposures in Toronto before and shot night shots, and they always turn out really interesting, and they give your portfolio and your body of work a little bit more, character and charm to them. So that's also part of the process, is really trying to figure out how to properly display all aspects of your city from day until nighttime. And in doing so, you want to capture those moments that make you feel good, and also those little moments that make you realize that you've discovered something new. And that's all part of the feeling, the essence of your city. And I think that's what Trashcan was trying to get at, is really diving deep into that conversation of what is it that I'm doing and how can I capture it and share it with people in the best way possible. So go through his videos on Skillshare, check them out. Like I said, the link's below. 500 of you have access to it for 2 months for free. Take advantage of it. And if you guys do have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And as always, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you all soon. Peace!